Childhood education program in Bloomington says they're in the dark about federal funding starting this summer.
And leaders say the government isn't offering any answers. Here is Liz Lape.
Heartland Head Start in Bloomington serves almost 200 children from infancy to 5 years of age. And come June, they're in need of their every 5-year grant. With confusion surrounding President Trump's federal funding freeze, they're uncertain when that funding may be coming. Right now, their 2024 to 2025 funds are available, but processing for the money due in June is up in the air. Interim Executive Director Chuck Hartzell says the program relies on the just under $4.5 million for nearly their entire budget.
Our grant has been submitted in regard to that, but we're not able to get any answers from the federal government in regard to its processing.
The organization has worked hard to rebuild their reputation with the community after complaints, administration turnover, and internal inconsistencies. Hartzell says they've solidified the organization's staff and ramped up community outreach.
We are also looking at what we can do to assist our parents more and get them more actively engaged.
Hartzell says the funding pays for all staffing and those costs related to the many services they're offering. He says they are almost fully staffed with teachers, but may need to hire more in the future.
As we've increased the number of students that we have been serving, we have other staff that provide supports outside of the classroom. We need to fill some of those positions.
President of the Heartland Head Start Governance Board, Nancy Ann Elder, says she is staying patient and optimistic, and she believes they will hear back about the grant process soon. Heartland Head Start also needs to get a 20% non-federal match to receive their next installment of funding. Hartzell says the funding needs to be granted by June 30th for the program to continue operations. In Bloomington, Liz Lape, 25 News.